Hi, this is Alexandra George with Inside Ambition, and today I'm talking to a Drexel student that got stuck in Greece. Hi, Mapa, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Why don't you give us a little introduction?
Well, my name is María Paula, but people call me Mapa. I am a sophomore. I study communication, concentrating journalism like you. And I am in Greece because I was doing my co-op here for the fall and winter terms. And then I was supposed to go back to the United States on the end of March. But because of the travel ban and because I'm not a US citizen, I'm an international student. I'm originally from Venezuela. I am not able to go back to the United States, so I'm staying here in Greece quarantining.
So, if you were an U.S. citizen, would you have been able to make it back in time? How was that working?
Yeah. Yes. So anyone who is a U.S. citizen or has a green card can go inside the U.S. If they come from Europe or any other like banned country. Uh, but I also have a friend who was doing the same co-op as me, and he's an American citizen, and he hasn't been able to go back because there's no flights from Greece to the U.S. Like there are very few and they're very expensive, so he's also waiting.
Is there any way that you could get back to Venezuela?
No, because there's also a travel ban there, and that's from any country and from anyone, including Venezuelan citizens. Because the situation there in my country is really tough. The health system, like on a normal basis without a pandemic, doesn't have like 2 out of 3 hospitals don't have electricity or water on a regular basis. So it's very tough. And with this pandemic, it has gotten even worse. So that's why they talk like such severe measures. And I cannot go back. And it's also not safe for me to go back because of this and also the rest of the crisis.
Yeah, that makes sense. Uh, what's your living situation like there in Greece?
Well, I'm living in an apartment. I used to have a roommate. It was a girl from Italy, but and we were both here quarantining together because we had no choice in her country. The situation was also very tough. But the embassy of Italy was doing like a repatriation, like trips from Greece to Italy for Italians who were stuck here in Greece, and she was able to go back to her country like a week and a half ago. So now I'm here alone. But it's thankfully like a very big apartment. It has 2 balconies. It has a big living room. So I have enough space to not feel like so stuck, which I'm thankful for.
Yeah, that sounds really nice. Do you feel like you're safe in Greece? What's the situation with the pandemic like there?
Yes, I feel like I'm safer here in Greece than I would have been in the US or in Venezuela because here, like the situation in Greece is more or less like the average of Europe, but I'm in an island, I'm in Crete. So here there are less than 20 cases in the entire island. It's a big sized island. So I feel very safe. There's no cases in the city where I am, and but still we're all taking quarantine and being preventive because the fact that we're in an island is good enough on a side that we're isolated from the rest because we're not in the mainland. But at the same time, if it gets very bad here, like there's no escape, so we have to still be careful.
Mm-hmm. Um, you're now in classes, right? Your co-op's over. How is that navigating the time difference?
Well, it's okay, I would say. I have only 2 classes that are synchronous, and the rest are asynchronous. Um, but I'm normally a night owl, so I thought I would be doing fine with the time difference because it's a 7-hour time difference. Um, so for me, like working late at night would be actually early for the US, like somewhat early. But I realized that having classes, like the classes that I have that are synchronous are between like 9 p.m. and 1 a.m. And during those times, I can be productive working, but I cannot pay attention very well in classes.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been finding myself like very tired. And am normally not a coffee person, just when I have to do like stories for my like major or like I don't know papers. But now I have been having to drink more coffee to like, stay awake and pay attention to the classes. But besides that, I'm trying to do it okay. Like I have been keeping myself pretty busy with the classes, so I can get distracted and I don't think about the fact that I am here alone. And it has been working out thus far, so
good. And since your co-op is over, you're not working, right? Like, how are you able to support yourself?
Well, I have a scholarship from Drexel, and since we're still in classes, I received that money. So I've been able to maintain myself through that, and also I have savings from my co-op. So between those two things, I've been able to maintain myself here, and also like the cost of living here in Greece, especially in the island I'm at, it's cheaper than the cost of living in Philly. So I've been lucky to be able to stretch that money and make it last for long.
And you've been doing everything yourself, right? Like grocery shopping, and what does that look like?
Yeah, well, when I had my roommate, we usually went grocery shopping like all packed with gloves and masks, and we were usually like the only ones with that, or very few people were using them. And now I'm going, and I didn't feel like lonely doing it because I was doing it with her. But now when I go grocery shopping, I do it by myself, and I still put the mask and the gloves. And I'm being careful and preventive, but it feels weird because not all, like other people are not doing it, and like the only one. So I also feel like they look at me weird for being extra preventive, or I don't know. It's also like part of the culture here in Greece. Like they're very carefree, so I feel like it's also that it can be dangerous, but at the same time, I don't know. I don't know if I'm being extra because there's no cases in the city, or I don't know. But I've been doing it, and there's like I cannot get deliveries for the food or anything because there's service for that here, but they only work if I have a Greek like debit card, and I don't have a Greek debit card. I'm just using my American one. So I have to go and get there, basically them. And, the supermarkets here, they're taking measures. They only allow a certain amount of people in. Thankfully, there's a lot of food in the supermarkets. Like there's no scarcity of anything. There's toilet paper, there's masks, there's gloves. Good. That's why I have them. But yeah, like besides that, I try to only go to the supermarket like once every 2 weeks. So I prevent going there frequently.
Good. And I'm sure part of the reason why you're taking these precautions is because you see what the cases are like in the States and you know how real it can get. Yeah. And now they're saying that there was cases here, thousands of cases before anyone even knew. So it's good that you're staying safe.
And also it was because my roommate was from Italy. And since very early we were seeing how the situation turned out so deadly in her country. So we started quarantining before anyone else because of that, and because we wanted to prevent it. And we also knew that by the end of March, we were both going to go back to our countries, and we didn't want to get sick. So that's why we were like extra preventive, and then we haven't turned that ship off. So we're still being a little preventive.
And how are you staying positive during all of this?
I'm staying very positive, to be honest. Like every time I talk with someone, they mention that to me. Because I don't know, I feel first of all like lucky that I'm healthy, and lucky that even though I'm not with my family, I'm in a beautiful place. I cannot go out, I know, and I cannot go to the beaches or anything, but I know that I'm in a good place with good people. I feel safe because there's not a lot of cases. I have food. I have, I had a job when I was having my co-op, and now I have my classes. And, I have things to do. And there's a lot of people who lost their jobs or don't have anything to do, or don't have, that much help because they're sick, or or they don't have a house, or they're struggling to pay rent. So I feel lucky that I can have those things, even though, it's not easy. I'm not with my family, but I try to look at the bright sides and see it as a learning experience. And also, I think it also helped me a lot that I am from Venezuela, as I told you, And it's not the first time I have to be stuck at home for such a long period of time. Like we have had a lot of periods of protest in my country because there's a dictatorship going on, or a strike. So we usually didn't go out unless it was for protesting, or we didn't go out alone at all because it was all closed. But it was not a pandemic. We have seen similar things to that. Like we had the H1N1. It was when it hit back in, I don't remember, I think it was 2011, 2012. It was very hard in my country, but it was not as hard as this. So yeah, I've experienced similar situations of being stuck at home, but of course it wasn't with the risk of, there's a pandemic going on all around the world. And it's also hard because I thought, okay, so this is happening just in my country. If I ever go out of my country, I will not experience this anywhere. But now it's the thing that you cannot escape. Like wherever you are, the virus is going to be there. So that's the other thing. But, this experience of having lived there in Venezuela, I think it has also prepared me to experience this and not be as affected.
That's some really great perspective you have on the situation. Is there anything else you wanted to share?
Well, no, I feel it's very weird also because my family is all spread out in the world, and we're all in lockdown alone in different countries. So my mom she was visiting my godmother in New York when this happened, and then she was gonna go back, but she cannot go back to Venezuela. So she's also quarantining and stuck there with my godmother. And my aunt, she was in Colombia trying to get her U.S. visa renewed because we don't have an embassy in my country. And while she was there for her appointment, the whole virus struck very hard, and the borders got closed. So she's also quarantined, stuck there. And my dad is alone in Venezuela, and they're all part of the vulnerable population because they're pretty old. So he's also stuck and alone in Venezuela, and I'm here in Greece alone. So it's a weird thing that it happened to all of us, and definitely very unique. But we're helping each other by calling each other and trying to give us strength. So yeah, but I would suggest to anyone who is struggling with mentally, mental health wise, with the situation, that you're definitely not alone. A lot of people are going through this. Try to seek help. I know Drexel has a lot of advisors who are offering help for people who are feeling alone, or they're feeling down because this whole virus is everywhere and they don't feel safe, or they're feeling down because they lost their co-op, or their parents or any relative might be sick. So definitely try to seek help and stay in touch with your friends and family through Zoom, Skype, FaceTime. There's a lot of ways you can stay close to them, those connections, and try to seek others people's help, and it can definitely make you not feel as alone.
Oh, yeah, that's good advice. I think we all need to hear that and preach that now. Well, thank you so much for talking with me today and sharing your story. I know it's going to hopefully inspire a lot of people, or at least let people see this situation a little differently.
Thank you. No, thank you for inviting me, and I hope this could help anyone. And if anyone wants to reach out to, say hi, or don't feel alone and they're also stuck in another country or whatever the situation may be, they can also reach out to me.
That's so sweet. Well, thanks again.